Aren't you afraid Reynolds gonna give you cancer? Welcome to Dirt, Sweat, and Gears, where every flat surface is a workbench. As you can see behind me, it is getting a little crowded in here. And that is because I have bought a whole bunch of stuff to go put in my rental house once my tenant moves out. So in this video, first we're going to go take a look at some of the stuff. I'm going to talk about what it is, what I intend to do with it, where I'm going to put it. Unfortunately, I can't take you on a tour of the house yet. You know, even though my tenant is gone for the week, I'm just not comfortable showing her stuff while she's still living there. So once she moves out, we're going to go take a tour of this house, and you'll get a much more clear picture of what's going on with this stuff. But until then, you're just going to have to kind of go with it. And then we are going to go take a look at what I'm doing out front. So if you remember from my last video, I have more or less finished the front yard of the rental house. I've got a couple of things left to do on it, but I have decided to move on to my house because I want a prospective tenant to not think that their landlord is a total crackhead. So I needed to do some cleanup, clear out the yard. I also had plenty of brick left to build a pathway, so I wanted to get started on that. And it's really coming along. I can't wait to show you. So let's get right into it. I only have a little bit of time after work to put into this during the week. Really, once the day's over, I only have maybe an hour before the sun goes down. But I was able to get this far. And I'm really happy with the progress so far because now I get to take on the curve. And I've already laid out most of the dirt up until here. So I really kind of just want to continue this all the way out to the edge here and then come down this way. Because shoveling dirt is really, really intense. So I'm going to try to rest as much as I can to get this in, because it's hard to show on camera, but I have to do a little bit of filling to bring it all level as it comes down. So what did I get? Well, I got cabinets. And as you can see, it's pretty much a full kitchen's worth. I've got 2 more cabinets in the trailer on the Jeep right now. And I gotta tell you, getting all this home without a truck was a nightmare. First of all, it barely fit in the trailer. And second, the Jeep was, well, it made it home, but it worked real hard for it. I really need a truck. The Jeep just isn't doing it anymore. But we'll see if we can get through this project at the very least. There's the other 2 cabinets and a couple more bags of sand. Over here on the Miata, we have a ceiling fan for the main room. Currently, the main room does have a ceiling fan, but it's way too small and it's just ugly. I want to make the house look nice as much as I can afford to. These 2 lights here, they are Schoolhouse Lights. They're going to go in the kitchen. They're 12-inch domes, and they look like that. Really cool. This one over here is a pendant light that's going to go over the sink. It actually just kind of hangs off of the cord itself, which is kind of a really neat aesthetic. It looks very like industrial / art deco. I really, really like it. And over here we have a couple of ceiling fans that are going to go in the bedrooms. They were free, which is great for me. This one my mom gave to me about 10 years ago. She bought it. I think she may have used it for a short while and then took it down and reboxed it and gave it to me. And it's been sitting in my garage and in my shed for a very long time. This is another ceiling fan. It doesn't quite match, but it is also free. So I really don't care. And this is just a few days of using my last hour before the sun goes down and laying some bricks, and I am done laying bricks. As you can see, I still have to do the concrete end cap, and I've still got to do some sand filling once the concrete's down. And really, I could have done some stairs, but this grade was just kind of barely in that gray area. It's still perfectly usable, but you know, I also could have done a couple of stairs if I really wanted to. Beyond the aesthetic of it, I just didn't have that much confidence in my skills to be able to pull it off very well. So I went ahead and just left it as a slope. I do like it as a slope, so that's not a big deal. And when I do the driveway, it is going to kind of come up and meet it, so I'm not at all worried or concerned about it. Obviously, I still have to do some clearing. My trash can was full last time I filled it, but I'm going to be finishing that up soon, and I guess things are growing fresh again, so I'm going to do another pass at it. This is what I have left of the paver bricks. I've got just under one level, so it's not a whole lot, but I think I can combine this with this over here to do something here. And I'm going to pull this up over here because once I delete this door and these stairs, this will be a pathway to nothing. So I'm going to pull that up, and I think I'm going to try to make like little parking spaces for the trash cans. So like I'm going to take the red brick and I'm going to lay it where the trash can would be, and I'm going to separate it with some of the white concrete pavers in the middle to make like little lanes. I think that'd be kind of fun. I hope I have enough material to do it. I think I do. And anything around it, like if I get to a point and run out around it, I can just either fill with concrete or with gravel or whatever I decide to do. I just really want to get dirt away from the side of the house because it'll help keep it clean, and it'll help keep things away from rotting the stucco. I'd also like water to pour down this way instead of getting in underneath the water heater. So there's several things I can do here to accomplish that. And also I'd love to do something over here, but this is more likely going to be either poured concrete slab or just gravel. This, I don't care about this area as much, but it would be nice to have something that is a little bit nicer than just dirt. Moving farther back here, obviously I got some weeds to kill. I've got plenty of raking to do, and I've got Roundup to take care of the weeds. Funny story about Roundup is, without getting into who, there was a guy that had some ideas about Roundup, and every time he saw that jug of Roundup, he would say, "Aren't you afraid Roundup's going to give you cancer?" And it was, and it's one thing to say it, one or two times, but he would say that literally every time he saw the jug of Roundup, as if it were the first time he were saying that to me. "Aren't you afraid Roundup's going to give you cancer?" So now every time I see my own bottle of Roundup, I have his voice in my head saying, "Aren't you afraid Roundup's going to give you cancer?" And yeah, that's just going to be something that goes in my head for the rest of my life, I think. But I got plenty of opportunities to give myself cancer. Oh, I'm coming back here. I'd like to keep the weeds and stuff off of the rocks, and I got to knock down anything that gets too tall. Remember how nice my pathway looked just now? Well, look again. I went to go make the forms for the concrete end caps when I discovered I got a bunch of asphalt underneath the concrete. I had to pull up the last 2 rows of bricks and had to dig out several inches of dirt. So I have to backfill this, repack it, put more sand on top, lay the bricks, and then dig it out again so that I can make the farm. Yay. So yesterday, after I discovered this little asphalt spot, I went ahead and filtered out more dirt, backfilled it, filled it all the way back up to be level with the hill, and I'm still compacting it. So you can see there's like a little low spot here, and it's still wet. So, and that's because after I tamped it down, I flooded it as much as it made sense. So this morning I'm going to tamp it again, go do this other stuff, and then I should be able to maybe add a little bit more, but I should be on the home stretch. I should be able to put down sand, put down the bricks, and then start digging away for the end cap. The main focus for today is going to be going across town in my Jeep and trailer to go pick up some used appliances. I found a place. They're a little bit far, but they apparently have a 30-inch refrigerator that looks really good. It's a KitchenAid, and they want something like $750, which is more than half off of its original price. And if it's in good condition, well, I'm definitely going to get that fridge. And they also have a laundry washer. They also have stoves and dishwashers. So these are all things that I need. And so maybe I can score a really good deal. This place apparently does deliver. However, they wanted $50 down to make the delivery. And I thought, well, first of all, I need more than just this one thing. Second, I would rather drive across town, drive back, spend $40 on gas, and waste a few hours of my time to come back with an empty trailer than to get scammed out of $50. So if it's a scam, then I just have an empty trailer. But at least I won't have that disgusting feeling knowing that I got scammed. I have appliances. And a fun story to tell about these appliances. You see here I have a refrigerator, a gas range, and a washer. So that leaves me with a dryer and a dishwasher that I need. However, I do have a dishwasher. It's over in my shed, buried behind a bunch of stuff, and it needs to be repaired. That's not that big of a deal. This fridge, you can see that the doors are a little off center. That's a pretty easy fix. There's very light scratches, but it is otherwise in great condition. The stove, I paid a little more than I wanted for the stove, but at the same time, it was $100 less than they wanted, so I was willing to pay for it. And the washer I got for free. It's nice to have family sometimes. My wife's family is just amazing. Her cousin had upgraded their washer a while ago. This one works, but it has like a common problem with the drum support for the drum breaking. And so it's like a $50 fix, they said. But it is currently working, or at least it worked when they decommissioned it. So it should work for me for at least a couple of years, and if it lasts that long, then I got my money's worth for it because I paid nothing. So I'm really, really happy, really, really grateful to them for just giving me a washer. Very, very cool. I saved a lot of money. And so here's the story with this other stuff. Like I mentioned already, I believe, there was this KitchenAid refrigerator up on Craigslist, and I said, I'm interested in it. And they're a vendor. They like fix up and sell used appliances, and so they said, okay, yeah. And I asked them, can you deliver it? And they said yes, but we require $50 down. And since I'm dealing with Craigslist, that's a huge red flag. You never give someone a deposit on Craigslist because they could just say thanks for the money and disappear. So I decided that I would rather risk coming back home with an empty trailer than getting scammed out of $50. So I took the trailer down, and they gave me the address, and I showed up there, and I really liked the fridge. I liked the oven. We made a deal, and they loaded it up on the trailer, and they said, okay, we take Zelle or cash. And Zelle doesn't work because Zelle is integrated with my bank, and for some reason it decided that it just doesn't want to send money. So after about 15 minutes of screwing around, I tried to call the bank. Of course, the bank is closed because it was after 1 o'clock on Saturday. I couldn't get cash because obviously it was after 1 o'clock on Saturday. And so I told them, look, I have Venmo. And they said, well, we don't have Venmo. I said, well, then I guess you're just going to have to unload this stuff because I can't take it. Unless you take Venmo, I can't take this stuff. And they said, after a couple minutes, they said, we're setting up Venmo right now. I just was kind of banking on the fact that they wanted this stuff gone. So much so that they would find a way to take my money. And they did. They came through. So I got the fridge and the oven. I paid $11.75 for both of them. They're in really good shape. The oven's a little dated, but I think it has enough of the stainless that it complements the fridge and the microwave, which is up there very well. And the microwave's literally never been used. I spent $100 on it. My contractor sold it to me, so it was very, very cool. Saved just a total ton of money. I was budgeting to spend about $5,000 on appliances, and I spent under $1,200. So that's a huge, 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 huge win for me. I didn't bother showing the rebar because, you've already seen that. I had a little more concrete than I really needed, so I ended up filling up the sides a little bit. But this is gonna work really well. Once this dries, of course, I'll take out the form and backfill it, and that'll be that. Moving over here to my tenant's house, I started clearing and tamping this dirt here. I also flooded it to see where the water wanted to go, and I found that it's pooling up over here. There's definitely a low spot. I really don't like that. I am likely going to take some dirt from the wasteland, fill it in a little bit, get it, more or less level, and then I'll put some packed sand on top of it. Because the dirt from the wasteland is pretty sandy to begin with, so it'll pack in pretty nicely. I might even dig out a little bit of this here so I can get a little more level and bring it down a little bit so that when I fill it with sand, it'll just be nice and compact. I also continued with the clearing in the front yard over here, and this is quite a big pile of leaves and compost. It's really just decades of composted leaves and wood. There's bugs in it. It's pretty gross. So I'm starting to clear that out. I just got too grossed out by the time I got that much out. There are beetles running around in there, and that was pretty gross. So once I fill the green cans with what's here, then I'll start pulling more back and moving these rocks out because I'm going to put a boulder wall here. So I really don't need these tiny little rocks. I'm going to move these rocks. Probably, I'll find a home for them along these lines here. And then if I need to pick off of them later, they'll be close by. But boulder wall is going to be the thing to do here. And once I do boulder wall, this will really all just come together. After a couple of days of hard work, I have a little walkway. Not really a walkway, it's more of a parking space for trash cans. But this came out really nice. It's not perfect. In fact, it's far from perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect. It's a parking space for trash cans. I have just enough pavers that I might be able to wrap it around the water heater here. That would be really, really cool. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do if I don't have enough. I don't know if I'm going to fill it with concrete or fill it with gravel, but I'm going to try to fill it with these little paver bricks and kind of finish that off and have it a nice paved area. And then I need to think about what I want to do here. But that is future me's problem. Today me is going to finish putting my tools away, hose this down, go inside and drink a beer. Stripped the form, reburied it. Well, sort of. I didn't tamp this. I'm probably going to end up spreading some gravel, but it's freaking cold out here, so this is going to be just fine for now. And I also did another round of sand. This pathway is done. It feels mostly tight. I am going to have to take a couple more passes at the sand, but that's how it goes. I have to do the same thing over here because we had a little bit of rain and the sand compacted, which is what it's supposed to do. But wow, this came out nice. And then this here is what I'm doing next. And then this here is done. I do have to shore this up. I'll be doing that this weekend. But otherwise it's done. Really happy with this. And it is on to the next project.